Hey guys, my name's Trevor.
I'm Vincent.
We're the Anthony and Todd Show, and today we're going to be taking a look at Snail Mail's latest project, Lush. Snail Mail is the stage name of indie rock kind of solo project. Lindsay Jordan, she released a solo EP back in 2015 called Sticky. Not the way you'd think Sticky is spelled. It has a I at the end. But then she kind of got together a band and released another EP in 2016 called Habit with her newly formed band. And in 2017, she toured a lot. Her and her band toured a lot with bands like Priest, Waxahachie, Beach Fossils, just kind of on a big tour. I think she opened up for a lot of those people. And this is her latest debut solo album, full studio album.
I was interested going to this because I heard the track Pristine, which she talked about kind of an ending relationship with a fellow partner and just kind of having to come to terms with it and not really wanting to have to come to terms with it. Mm-hmm. And I thought her performance was solid. I liked the production was solid. And I was really interested going to this album. But in the end, all the tracks kind of sound like Pristine. Just all of them. All of them are pretty much cut and paste performance and production. And I hate to say that, but it kind of is. The album is very one note in everything it does. And it moves, I hate to say this, at the pace of a snail. The title, their band name actually reflects what the sound quality of the record, how it progresses. Everything just seems like it's moving very slow to the point where I get to track Stick, and I think this album is just taking forever, and we're only like halfway in. I think this album, it occasionally presents some really good, really introspective lyrics, such as Pristine, where she's talking about this ending relationship, or on Speaking Terms, where she's talking about a relationship that's kind of, at one point was kind of hazy, but it's finally come to speaking terms, or on the track Golden Dream, where she's kind of talking about living in this, living in this facade of kind of being in this point where she just wants a solid relationship, which I think is nice. And we get like all these similar subjects kind of be talking about. Kind of reminds me of problems I had with Soccer Mommy's last project, but even worse because I think all these seem like the same track over and over again lyrically, which it's probably a harsh criticism to say that because I think there's some stellar moments of lyricism. As I mentioned before, Pristine I think is good. Heatwave I think is really good. But I think they all follow the same narrative a bit too much that it makes it feel like this is a progression of the same track, but at the same time, the same track because none of the production has progressed. Her performance feels the same. And neither of those elements are bad, but after you're listening to 40 minutes of the same style of guitar riffs or same style of kind of almost fragile vocals, you get kind of sick of it. And that is my main beef with this record, is that it is just the same thing presented in the same way over and over again to the point where you're just done with it after I think Stick. I think it just goes on forever. Stick is a very long track too, and it doesn't have any need to be.
If there's one kind of style of album that I hate more than others, it's just one note albums. I absolutely despise when artists just make their albums to be just like one emotion, one style, one same like production, I don't know, same like way of production, I guess, throughout the entire thing, and then making it like unreasonably long or trying to make it like unreasonably complex. If you're going to present the same song to me over and over and over, give me your best song and put it on a loop. Yeah. I mean, in all honesty, like, I had no reason to listen to the entire album if I was just going to get the same first song on the album over and over and over. That thing just kind of, I mean, that bothers me to no end. That's the reason, like, Migos, we got such a bad score on Culture 2 because I feel like it was just the same song over and over, with the exception, of course, of Motorsport and Stir Fry, which sounded vastly different due to different producers. That album was just more of the same over and over. And it's not like the lyricism does anything for Snail Mail. I just think that it just like plays into it in a way that's like falsely deep almost.
Yeah. Because I feel like if you compare, it's maybe a bad thing to compare her to other female artists who are kind of in the indie rock and pop genre. But to compare her to Anna Burch, she's not as talented as a songwriter. Comparing her to Soccer Mommy, not as talented as a songwriter, not as openly emotional as a songwriter. It seems just kind of her emotion kind of seems flat. It's just like very flat, depressing melancholy that we get presented through this entire album. And it's just, she's not as talented as other very talented songwriters.
Yes.
And I think if this was a project by Anna Burch, I think the songwriting would actually carry it. And I think her performance would actually carry it as well. But Snail Mail just does the same shit over and over again. And it's like, it's made even worse by the guitar riffs. The guitar riffs of this album feel the fucking same throughout the entire thing. I think I'm listening to one riff played over and over again in like a myriad of different ways. I don't think I have anything else to say beyond that. I think there's like, there's some potential here, but I feel like, in all honesty, maybe we've seen the peak. Maybe this is the peak. Maybe Pristine is the peak, and there's nothing past that besides Pristine being played over and over again. I'm feeling a 4.5 on this. There's elements I like. There's songwriting I like. There's tracks I do like on this, but they're the same tracks being played over and over again. It's just there's elements of them that I think I enjoy more over some other tracks.
I think overall I'm going to give this a 3.
I think
just for this, like, I don't know, there's just like a personal pet peeve of mine is when artists make albums like that. Because I think you're right. Like, Pristine just might be the peak of this. I enjoyed Pristine.
Yeah.
But can I say more about other tracks? Not quite.
Yeah.
Because even the other tracks that I think are similar to Pristine never live up to what Pristine is. And if Pristine is their best track, it is like Snail Mail's best work, and nothing else like lives up to that, then like, how can I give the album any higher of a score?
Yeah.
You know?
So there's a review of Snail Mail's Lush. If you want to hear us talk about more music, we host a weekly podcast that's on Apple Music and Spotify. Links will be down below in the description. It's a weekly podcast where we just meme and critique music. So if you want to hear us do more of that, links down in the description. If you want to hear us critique more albums, we have a plethora of many albums for you to choose from on our YouTube channel. Recent releases from Kanye West, Pusha T, One of Tricks Point Never, Clairo. So many artists have released music recently that it's kind of hard to keep up with everything that we've reviewed.
It really is.
But until next time, guys, I'm Vincent.
I'm Trevor.
And see you, boyos.
Bye, everybody.